Let's continue talking about Master XuanHua's Chan Qi instructions. We talked about last night about Kang Fa Lan, and so he's born in China, and he decided to go to India to visit the sagely, the holy sites of Buddhism, and he met a good advisor along the way in the midst of nowhere, but he chose to continue with the journey, whereas his 4 companions stayed on. And when he made it to India, visited a lot of places, but he himself attained the fruition with really no good advisor at all, from what I can tell. So that's what we are today. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, I have a disciple of the temple texting me asking a question, very personal question, because I will try to use different pronouns. I use they. Wanted to take the 3rd precept, but they don't know how to repent, so they would like to ask me, ask Master on behalf of them about the precept. Is that okay?
Sure.
So they said, so I have 2 questions. One, since I took refuge, I went out and had sex a few times. I didn't take the sexual misconduct precept, but do I repent for it? Because I know I wasn't supposed to do it, but that's what happened. Next question is, masturbation also violates the precept, but is repentable. What should I do though? Like maybe do it once a week and then repent, but I'm confused about how to repent. Like if I had to go bow to a Sangha member or bow to my Buddha statue or listen to the Great Compassion mantra.
Okay. For in the future, for these types of questions, we need to take them in private, because we try to maintain a PG-13. We will condone violence and coarse language, but we try to keep it PG-13 and 17, okay? So basically, besides as far as questions about precepts, I am not allowed to discuss them in public. So you should all know that better by now. Precepts are a Buddhist thing that's only reserved for Buddhist disciples who are interested in taking precepts, and they cannot be discussed in public at all. So I will give you private answers, and the Sanghas here, I'm sure, can give you answers too, and you can relate to them to the questioner, okay? Well, thank you for asking. All right, anything else? Yes, 5.
영성님 질문입니다. 3일 전에 슬라이드에 법계성을 관할한 얘기가 있는데 더 자세한 설명을 부탁드립니다. So this is from Yongsong. Dharma Talk 3 days ago, one of the slides mentioned contemplate the nature of Dharma realm. So Master, could you explain about this?
It's confusing when the statement says, contemplate the nature Dharma realm. Okay, and basically it tells you that the Dharma realm, or the universe where we live in, okay, in that Dharma realm, in that universe we live in, everything that you see in this Dharma realm, all these worlds, all these satellites, all these rockets, all living beings, all the mountains, everything in a Dharma realm, including emptiness, is created from the mind. Every single thing in the Dharma realm came about because of our mind. That's a wisdom. Now, if your Kung Fu, the higher your Kung Fu is, the more that you see, the more you understand. For example, in Master Hsu's teachings that came from a Chinese teaching as well, there are 10 Dharma realms, meaning that for us, living beings, we can be born in 10 different Dharma realms. Okay, the 3 low Dharma realms are animals, hungry ghosts, and the hells beings. And above us, above those would be the more suitable Dharma realms, meaning the asuras, the humans, and the gods. Those are 6 ordinary. For ordinary living beings, they will revolve in those 6 paths, if you will. That's what we've been doing. That's what you have been doing all this time. And so Buddhism is about teaching you, reminding you that it's not as much fun as you think. It's a lot of suffering. And it's because you've been revolving this wheel reincarnation, going into the 6 realms, 6 common or ordinary realms. That's why you're adding more and more suffering to yourself. And Buddhism is to remind you of that. It's suffering, like it or not, you want to face it or not. But the fact of our existence is primarily suffering. Look at yourself. You have all kinds of sufferings. Sufferings of sicknesses, sufferings of birth, sufferings of death, suffering of old age, and so forth. There's countless types of suffering. And that's why you practice Buddhism. You plant the seeds to ascend to the 4 sage realms, meaning the more desirable ones would be to go to 4th stage Arhat or Pratyeka Buddha. Okay, those are the 2 more desirable realms, 4th stage Arhat or Pratyeka Buddha, would be a little bit higher. And then even higher than that, much higher than that, is the Bodhisattva realms, okay, where you experience actually wonderful, wonderful bliss. No more suffering. So the sagely realms, and of course the last one is the Buddha's realm. All these 4 sagely realms, you will be free from suffering, and the higher you are, the more peace and bliss you will experience. Okay? And that's part of the realization when you contemplate the Dharma realm, that all these things happen. You see how people revolve, how people get born there, how people fall, how people ascend, how people become enlightened, and so forth. Okay? And that's how, and then you get further, you see how ghosts are created. Okay? And this is the full Buddhist teaching, not just a subset. Why is it important? Because in Mahayana, we see the interconnections of the entire Dharma realm, how things came about. And in order for you to escape the suffering, put an end to the suffering, escape the wheel reincarnation, you better know what's stopping you. When I first started teaching Chan years ago, I said, as soon as you get into 2nd dhyana, which most of you are way beyond 2nd dhyana, your body begins to emit light. You can't see it, but the heavenly demons who live up there, upstairs, in the stratosphere, in space, they would spot you and say, "Oh wow, someone has reached second dhyana," and the demon king immediately targets you, day and night. He will figure out ways to stop you dead in your tracks. If you have the blessings, they cannot stop you. But if you don't have the blessings, like people who are not there yet, who are on their first rounds of their first encounter with cultivation, they're stopped dead in their tracks. There's nothing you can do unless you know how to deal with these demons and these ghosts and these spirits. Case in point, when I first started teaching, the Vietnamese, they have a big group. Is he dead by now, that guy? The one who contemplates I forgot his name, I'm sorry. If he's not dead, he's very, very old, he's probably incapacitated by now. But he says, you sit there, you meditate, and when you see the false, you should recognize as a false. So he advocates you sitting there and waiting for the false to come. That's his meditation. And when the false comes, you have to recognize the false. He quoted the Xin Jing, the Heart Sutra, because that's what the Heart Sutra teaches. So he had a lot of followers in Vietnam. I mean, back then there were two famous teachers, him and a much bigger one is Thich Nhat Hanh. And they all are messed up. The teachings are all screwed up. They just use the intellect to understand, whereas most of them don't realize that training is a secret recipe. You need to know what to do. That's why the Bodhisattvas have to come here to guide us on how to do it, because they did it already. It's not something you can sit there and figure out because you're smart, because you're educated. It's not going to happen for you. Will never happen. Why not? Because if you depend on your intellect, you'll never make it. Guaranteed. Okay? So this guy here had a lot of disciples in Vietnam and quite a few in the US as well. And I was surprised when they came to me, even as a novice, when I was a novice, and said, I have this problem. Okay? And I asked, look at this nun here. She said, many of my co-cultivators have this problem. We don't know what to do with it. And so I asked him, have you asked your master or your teachers what to do? He said, we have, but they don't know what to do either. That's the demons stopping them. They don't even realize it. They can't even tell it's the demons. They don't even know it's the demons. Demons attack. Okay? And I said, back then, even as a novice, I always said, I'm not really my problem. You should go and ask your teachers because I don't want to meddle into your business. And it turns out, later on, Master XuanHua's disciples also had the same attack. So I chuckled, I said, wow. When they attacked me like that, I resolved it in 2 minutes. And then a Bodhisattva who taught me, who helped me, he chuckled and said, you're too slow. Okay? And your approach works, but it's not really Chan. So anyway, so the point here is that unless you have the roadmap and you have the experience, you will not be able to make it. Nor if some of them, like many teachers, like those people in Taiwan, those people in China, in Korea, and so forth, or Myanmar and so forth, they made it far because of their prior blessings. The demons attacked them before many, many lifetimes, and finally they figured a way to overcome it, and that's why the demon said, okay, I will not bother you anymore. But for you lowlifes, they're going to stop you dead in your tracks. Okay? So that's why the cultivation is rather complicated. And the Mahayana teaching is that the Buddha says, in Mahayana, we look at the entire universe, entire Dharma realm, and be aware of what's happening. It's not just us cultivating here. It's the heavenly demons upstairs watching us as well. And my late father came up there after he died as well. You see, there's all these interconnections. It's all, he came up there because he said, I want to go up there and look at those heavenly demons, maidens. I heard they're very, very interesting. So he came up there, went up there. So anyway, you see, when you contemplate the Dharma realm, then you see why all these things happen. And the more wisdom you have, the more you understand how things come about. And that's the Buddha's wisdom. And the more we cultivate, the higher we get, the more we understand that everything is from the mind alone. Everything is created from the mind. Okay? All right. Anything else? Okay. And so that's why you see the secret of the Chinese, which none of the other cultures have really, is that they're so advanced that they said, I'm not going to bother trying to figure things out myself because I can't. No matter how hard I tried, I won't be able to. So the Chinese Mahayana practitioners, they follow the good known advisors because those people can lead us through all this mess, all this maze, this labyrinth that we don't know how to handle ourselves. Okay? And this is the fallacy of ordinary people. They think they can figure things out. They cannot be more wrong than that. It doesn't matter how smart you are. Let me put it this way for you. Many Nobel laureates I saw early on, I was curious. I looked at Nobel laureates, from the famous ones, real famous one because of the contribution, very significant to science. They all, the highest level is 4th dhyana. They're considered geniuses in our world. And in Buddhism, the highest one is from India. Most of them are in the range of 2nd dhyanas. And you go enter samadhis in 2nd dhyana, you can produce something that's considered geniuses by ordinary people. See? All right, so that's why the Chinese by far is the most advanced in Mahayana because of that very simple rule. Follow a good no advisor. You don't believe me? You try to figure it out yourself. And you one day and you remember, I said so. You want to follow a good no advisor because you cannot figure it out. Even whatever we explain to you, you only understand a portion of it. That's all. Okay. All right, so that's why I keep on insisting. This is one of the biggest things I learned from Master XuanHua that I didn't see anywhere else. I didn't see any other cultures, whether it's Korea, whether it's Thailand, and so forth. You find a good no advisor and follow a good no advisor. And as we learn more about the Avatamsaka Dharma, then you learn more about how to get to the higher levels, what Mahasattvas, Bodhisattvas do. They still follow good no advisors, but differently than we do. Okay, same thing. From low level to high level, we all look for good no advisors. That's cultivation for you. And hang in there. No matter how tough it is, you hang in there. All right? That's Mahayana practice for you. All right, so Kang Fa Lang attained the fruition. I'd say probably 4th stage Arhat, considering that he dared dared ignore the advice from that old bhikshu they met in his travel. So that's a weakness of the 4th stage Arhat. You don't realize, even you get to 4th stage Arhat, you have some glaring issues that will prevent you from making further progress. Or 8th ground Bodhisattva, they still have a lot of issues. Because even an 8th ground Bodhisattva, for example, they can still be easily fooled by the demons. Okay, 210. Nobody knew where he went, when he passed away, or if he passed away at all. So he disappeared. Okay, so has wisdom there. Didn't want to leave any traces, any remains. Dying is not a big deal for him. Whereas for us, dying is such a big deal. We worry about our wealth, our family, and so forth. And he went away, not worrying about his disciples, his temples, and everything, and the reputation, everything. So, you see, so he has wisdom. 4th stage Arhat. He had a disciple whose surname was Lu. And then first name is Ling Shao, also very smart. That's what we are. Let's continue on 212.
Okay, so I will repeat the last slide.
He had a student. 他这个徒弟啊，居家姓吕。 法名呢叫令韶，也是非常聪明。
He had a disciple. His disciple's secular surname was Lü, Dharma name Ling Shao. He was also very smart.
在家的时候啊，好各处游荡，各处去跑，又欢喜打猎。打了很多畜生啊。
When he was a layman, he wandered around, going to all places. He also enjoyed hunting, killing many animals.
他欢喜吃这个畜生的肉，然后吃来吃去，他觉得啊。
He liked to eat the game meat. He ate this and that and felt.
畜生也不是愿意死的，为什么我要打他呢？我应该不杀生才对。
Animals are unwilling to die. Why should I hunt them? I should not kill.
于是乎，他就拜这个康法朗做师傅，学这个小禅宗的这个道。
So he asked Kang Fa-lang as his master and studied the principles of Chan school.
他一坐也能坐很多天，禅定的功夫也很好。
He could sit for many days at a time. His Chan Samadhi Kung Fu was excellent.
Okay, YouTube has a question.
Thank you, Master. We have one YouTube question, and I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our YouTube audience who's joining us this evening. We have nearly, if not over, 60 people across English, Chinese, Vietnamese, and Korean YouTube channels.
Wow, it's probably the last Dharma Talk night, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Tomorrow.
One more
lecture.
One more to go. Tomorrow's the big night.
Yes.
YouTube question from Brady McBride. Brady asks, what is the connection between mind and wisdom? Does the mind manifest wisdom?
Okay. Is that the one question?
Yes, Master.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Mind is a confusing term. Mind here refers to both the false mind as well as the true mind. So when you talk about the false mind, what is it? It is your thinking mind. The mind that uses deduction, that uses reasoning, uses logic, to arrive at building this world, explaining this world. So that is called a false mind, because in Buddhism, that is exactly called the sixth consciousness, the thinking mind. It's the problem with that is that it discriminates. It's a good thing to use logic to build, to justify, to explain. However, it has a glaring drawback. That is, it discriminates. And that because of that discriminating nature, it will cause issues for you, would cause a lot of grief for you. So that's why we call it the false mind, because this mind here is not the best thing at your disposal. Okay. So that's a false mind. So again, in brief, the false mind is a mind that discriminates. What is a true mind? The true mind is way beyond a four-stage arhat. Okay? The arhats, the practical Buddhas, do not have true mind. Not at all. Only Bodhisattvas have the true mind. Is that clear? I want to help you discern, make the distinction very clearly, because the way the Chinese explained it and use the word sin or mind, it's very confusing. The sin in Chinese also means your heart. And the Japs did even further. They said sin is actually in your navel. So that's why when they kill themselves, they stick something in the navel and they go like this, because this is how they believe they should kill themselves. Okay? You see how misguided it is. Okay? You stick it in here, it's very painful, and you go further like this. Oh my God. Don't do that to yourself. What a horrible and brutal way to die. Okay? And so you see, it's an act of bravery, but it's rooted on their false belief that this is where the mind is. So that's how they kill themselves. Okay? The Chinese is more advanced. They said number 3, mind means heart. Because actually this heart here is also the mind. Okay? Meaning the heart of compassion. You see? This is where the compassion resides, not up here. Up here is facts and truth. Okay? But here for us, our goodness and our compassion, that's where they reside. Okay? So it's very confusing. You learn the terminology from a Chinese. I was so confused. I decided to ignore it. I said, this is something that's too advanced for me. It's taught by these patriarchs for a reason. I'm not in a position to understand it. Doesn't mean it's not true. Okay? So that's why nowadays, hey Daniel, how's life treating you? That's the new color for the ID buzz. You know that? That beautiful lemon green there? The ID buzz, the Volkswagen van is coming out next year. It's the rage right now. Never mind. Okay, I got distracted easily and by colors, as you can tell. Okay, so mind here, when Brady asks about mind, I took the opportunity to explain those important concepts for you, for your reference. I bet you most Chinese who study Buddhism don't understand it because they haven't got anyone to differentiate it for them. And I bet you most Koreans or Vietnamese don't have any idea either. Actually, I had, when I first started as a novice, I read a book in Vietnamese written by some sort of monk who wrote a small book about the size of our, how thick it is. It's about 150 pages, half size, okay? And he's a monk and he studied the mind and so forth. So he wrote a book to explain to us what the mind is. And it's all garbage. Okay? And that tells you how confusing the concept of mind is for most people in Buddhism across the spectrum. Okay? So just a couple of things here. So you have the thinking mind, discriminating mind, that's a false mind, okay? The cultivation will help us put an end to that, stop it, because we cannot control ourselves. We keep on thinking and thinking all day. Okay, like Daniel here, he says, I bet you that he cannot stop thinking all day. Am I correct? Moments of what? It slows down, but did it stop? No, it doesn't. Only certain people would have the ability to stop their minds. Ordinary people cannot. Okay? And so this thinking mind here is a false mind, and when we practice Chan, many of our trainees, our disciples, our students have reached a level where they can stop the false mind. That's when your wisdom comes to the fore. Okay? And then remember I talked about the concept of a true mind. And when you reach a level of having access to your true mind, then the wisdom you have is actually far bigger. It gets more and more. That wisdom there will enable you to see more and more of this universe, how it came about. All right? So how is wisdom produced? Wisdom is produced because you're able to successfully put an end to your thinking mind. You can stop it. That's when your mind clears up. That's the beginning of wisdom. It's not knowledge. It's not logic. It's not reason. It requires you to stop the thinking mind. That's when wisdom will then emerge. All right, you too.
Thank you, Master. We have a YouTube question from Sophia Gu. Sophia asks, Master, when you mentioned that we reach second dhyana, we might emit light. Does that attract the attention of troublemaking ghosts too? I have been experiencing much more sleep paralysis attacks recently.
Yeah, that's a Kumbanda ghost. Say hello for me next time he comes around. Okay? Yeah, that's the ghosts attack you at night as a Kumbanda. That's quite a commonplace. People rarely die, so don't worry. If for your reference, for your information, it's rarely people would die because they would suffocate. Now you run to some Kumbanda who is so fat that they sit on you and you're so terrified you can't call for help and you forget to breathe. That's why you die. So keep breathing, okay? Or call Wan Yin. So you too.
Thank you, Master. I wanted to point out that Derek has a comment. Derek says and validates, yes, there is a lot of buzz around the Volkswagen ID Buzz right now.
Yeah. It's too expensive though. It costs twice as much as the lowest level EV. It's too much. Can't afford it. Unless someone wants to. Never mind. Yes, continue. Shall we continue? Okay. Go ahead, please.
他修行，那个师傅丢了，不知道师傅跑到什么地方去，也找不着了。
He cultivated and lost his master. He didn't know where his master went, nowhere to be found.
找不着了，他就跑到一个山上呢，做了一个石头的洞，洞里常坐不卧，在那里休息。
He couldn't find his master, so he went to a mountain and built a rock cave. Inside the cave, he sat there for a long time without lying down and cultivated there.
Okay, let's stop here and let's go back very, very quickly for you to see. See, my hunch was right. So this guy here, his disciple, Kang Fa Lang, is some kind of hunter. He likes to hunt and is exciting. I used to hunt too. And the Lord forgives me. Okay. Hallelujah. Okay. And it's fascinating. The hunting is very, 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 it pumps the adrenaline and you know, the kill each time is fun, I must admit. Okay, I regret it. Anyway, yeah, we all have our dark side, I guess. Anyway, so I no longer hunt for your reference. Okay, so this guy is Ling Shao, a very smart guy, enjoys animal meat. Oh my God, animal meat. Game meat is so fragrant. Okay, and not I'm advocating it. I'm just recollecting. Okay, and again, praise the Lord. I hope I will not make the same mistake again. And he felt this guy has blessings. He has more wisdom than I did. I killed a lot of, when I hunted, small things, small animals. But he killed these animals. He had an awakening, he has an epiphany. He says, they don't want to die, nor do I. Why should I continue to kill? So this guy has blessings. Okay, he stopped himself. And he went to Kang Fa Lang and studied under him the principles of the Chan school. So he meditated. 禅宗的这个道理. So he says, so this tells me that Kang Fa Lang is still teaches about principles of Chan instead of telling you what to do. Meaning Kang Fa Lang learned Chan from reading a lot of stuff. Chan manuals and books and materials and so forth. And that's what he used to teach his disciples. Okay, so that's the proof right here. Let me see, and let me, bear with me, I'm going somewhere here. So this guy here also has blessings. You see, he has blessings that he could stop himself from killing karmas. Killing karmas are very, very serious. You will encounter a lot of obstructions when you cultivate. If you do have a lot of killing karmas, this is why we monks and nuns are vegetarian. Because if you continue to create killing karmas, you will have a lot of obstructions. More than you can handle. Okay? And that's what the Hinayana people don't realize, unfortunately. But none of our business. So his guy here has blessings. He could sit for many days at a time. Good samadhi. great blessings. It takes a lot of blessings to be able to sit for a long, long time. So his Chan Samadhi Kung Fu was excellent, was very good. Cultivated and lost track of his teacher. Great teacher-student relationship. Here is the first clue to me that this Kang Fa Lang didn't know how to train his students. Okay? So basically, the Hinayana training is I give you some principles, some instruction, go off somewhere, you meditate, and maybe we come back and talk about it and ask me later. Okay? Whereas us, what do? We see each other every day. Isn't it wonderful? Like a big family, we're happy. Aren't we, Master Xianjie? No, he's not. Okay, you see that? That's a huge difference. So same thing in Thai Buddhism. That's what you notice, that these people, they cultivate it separately and build a hut and they cultivate it and so forth. There's a time for that, mind you, but not when he first started like this. It's the wrong time to do it. Okay, we also do that, but not yet, not for you yet. Is that clear? Because that's part of what the sixth patriarch did. Okay, he did that to refine himself, not to open, but sixth patriarch is different anyway. So he lost track of his master, couldn't find his master, and so what did he do? He went to a mountain, built a rock cave, and sat for a long time without lying down and cultivated there. Ascetic practices. Okay? That's what most monks and nuns read about. These great stories of great cultivators in Chinese, in Vietnam, in Cambodia, in Thailand, and so forth. And that's what they all do. Okay? And this guy has a lot of blessings. Okay? So again, this definitely to me tells me that Kang Fa Lang is a fourth stage arhat. But he taught his disciples the Hinayana style of practice. He may be reading the Mahayana sutras and memorize them because of his great memory, but his level of wisdom is that of the Hinayana level. So what we call Hinayana Mahayana, I call it, meaning the Mahayana Dharma, but he learned, but he reached a comprehension level of a Hinayana practitioner. Is that clear? You can be reading all these sutras, memorizing these sutras, but your comprehension depends on your level of samadhi. There's no hiding that. If you read all the Avatamsaka Sutra, and if your level is up here, of samadhi is a Hinayana, that's all you're going to get out of it for now. As you go up, you get more and more and more. Is that clear? So clearly, this guy, Kang Fa Lang, is basically a fourth stage arhat. Not even a first round. Didn't know how to train his students. And also other things that tells me. I'm not going to comment on them. Continue, please.
He cultivated and he carved a statue of his master from wood.
And the reason I would make comments about these people, these teachers, it's for your reference. We remember our Dharma is to look for a good new advisor You keep on looking and looking and looking, and you feel in your lifetime you run to these different teachers, you see different levels, and you learn to recognize which ones will be limiting your progress. Yes, you find a good no advisor and learn from that person. But if this person teaches you to do things like this, then you're better off start looking for others, okay, for a better one. Because you look at Master XuanHua, when he trained his disciples, when he first started, they didn't go into seclusion. They didn't find a cave. They were not allowed to sit for days. Okay, and they were not allowed to go into seclusion at all. They had to be taught. Big temple like this, because the foundation matters. First, you need to learn about the proper foundation. Okay, so this guy is just Hinayana stuff. Continue.
现在呢，就天天呢诵经礼拜，拜他这个师父的木头像。
He was there every day reciting sutras and bowed. He bowed to his master's wooden statue.
修行时间大概有10几年，以后啊，他也证了。那么在这个众里边呢，做这个圆寂。
He cultivated for over a dozen years and attained fruition later on. He sat inside the cave and passed away.
Okay, so that's it, I guess. Oh, I'll continue.
在他圆寂的时候，离这个他住这个山的附近，一般人都看见这个山上一大放光明。
When he passed away, in the area near the mountain where he lived, ordinary people all saw bright light emitted from the mountain.
有的人呢，很好奇的，就到这个山上去看一看，一看才知道这有一个比丘已经圆寂。
Some people were very curious, so they went up the mountain. They went up the mountain to have a look. Then they found out a bhikshu had already passed away.
一般的人呢，知道这个光明呢是这个比丘啊，他显现。于是乎这地方的人呢，信佛呢就很多。
So ordinary people knew this light was emitted by this bhikshu. Thus, many people believed in Buddhism in this area.
这个人呢，近朱者赤，近密者黑。 出是红色，密就是黑色，所以。
People, one who draws near vermilion becomes red, and one who draws near the ink becomes black. Vermilion is red, ink is black.
你染于苍在苍，染于黄在黄。你接近什么人，就会消失。
So, what is dyed using a cyan becomes cyan. What is dyed in yellow becomes yellow. Whoever you drew near, you will learn from them.
染就是染污那个染，苍就是比那个黄色呢浅一点，就是比那个黄色的深一点，不是黄苍。
Tang is a little lighter than yellow, pointing to an object. This is a little darker than yellow. It is not Tang. This is the end of the slide.
Of the file?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back and I can make a few comments. I hope that you won't get the wrong impression. I'm not criticizing these people. Okay, Buddhism is very vast. It has different players, who are here for different purposes. So all of us are walking towards the path towards enlightenment, towards Buddhahood. So we all are important. Please don't get me wrong. I don't mean to denigrate or to belittle the other bhikshus or monks and nuns and so forth. We are all important. I'm here today because of all these monks and nuns as well. Okay, I'm always grateful to the Sangha for giving me a chance to become a member and then cultivate in the structure of the Sangha that the Buddha envisioned and created. The comments I made is really to add more aspects to American Buddhism, so that we have to be, excuse me, we have to have our the nature of American culture, from what I see, is we're very blunt. We don't beat around the bush. So I apologize to many of you, because I'm Asian. You look at me and say, this Asian guy is, where does he come from? He talks funny, criticizes Asian culture and criticizes everyone. Okay, the point here is that all these monks here, they serve a purpose. So this guy, he cultivated on a mountain. He lost track of his masters, which you don't want to do. Okay, so Master Cheongwa related these stories to his disciples back then because of their levels. Back then, they were starting out. Many of them were confused. Many of them were very low level. So these stories make sense to them. Okay, and from us, it also makes sense because it gives us a glimpse of the real world of Buddhism. It's not just where we are alone, where just a handful of you here and thinking that you're the best and you're better off. No, not at all. We here, you here, you know how you got here? You got here because many lifetimes ago you were down there. Master Xinhua said so. You don't become a high-level Sangha unless you climb up the ladder. You are here today learning about Mahayana because you practice all these dharmas already. And now, the reason you keep on coming back time and time again, grudgingly sometimes, is because you have the blessings that were built from climbing at the bottom, learned from these teachers. Okay? What did he do for us? This is for us as well. Okay? He cultivated for a dozen years and attained the fruition up to fourth stage Arhat again by himself. Okay? Sat inside the cave and passed away. And passed away, what did he do? He's very kind-hearted. He emitted light. Okay? And it drew attention of villagers, so they came and they found out that he died. There's a monk who died there in the cave with his body emitting light. So the villagers, then believe in Buddhism. That's us, some times ago. So what he did is very important. He tried his best. So we all are contributing to the best of our abilities. So please do not ever walk around and say, I'm better, I'm the best, and so forth. It's nonsense. We all are important because that's how we cultivate. It takes time for us to climb up. And I can't stress enough, the reason that you're not turned off by this yet, doesn't matter what I say, doesn't how clownish I am, so forth. And so many of you hang in there for 10 years, over 10 years. It's because of your Mahayana blessings. Without that, is no way you would last. You would have left already. Okay? And so, but you all started just like I did with believing in Buddhism because of these nice monks, these great monks who did something with their life, their cultivation, and to help us build the faith for cultivation. Is it clear? Please don't ever walk out of here and thinking you're better and the other monks, Hinayana and so forth, Theravada and not non-Buddhist and so forth. No. The Buddhists came from a non-Buddhist. Just like the Buddha's disciples. His first side bhikshus were externalists. They're not Buddhists. You see? His Dharma is so great. They took those 5 externalists and taught them. He became enlightened. That's Buddhism. Okay? You take all these non-Buddhist practitioners, we can teach them. You take all sorts of people, we can train them, and they become enlightened. That's Mahayana. I can't stress this enough. Don't ever look down on others. It may sound stupid right now, but enlightenment in our Dharma is sudden. It could be just happen just like that, like in the case of the 6th patriarch. He walked into the 5th patriarch's temple, 1,000 of them practicing there. They all were trained by the 5th patriarch. All had tremendous blessings. And he became enlightened, just like that. Okay? So, in a way, this monk, we need to be grateful to this monk here, because he decided to emit light, and that would help people believe in Buddhism. At his level, he didn't have to. Do you get it? He didn't have to admit light at all. He said, you know, I will do this thing here to help a bunch of people in this area. That's so kind. Okay. So I apologize if I came across to many Sanghas and many lay people that I look down upon the other monks and nuns. No, I don't. Not at all. I'm making this differentiation to help you discern who's a better good no advisor. And you need to verify it for yourself. Okay? Because no one did it for me. And Master XuanHua changed topic. He says, draw near black, you become black. Draw near whatever color, you become that color. And that's the end of the tape. Okay? Well, let me tell you, these things are important because this old monk here, I remember something like 3 years ago, his aspiration was that he says, my body is sick, I want to go back to Vietnam. I either live in my family's home, they have a room, I have a room there already, my sister will support me, they'll cook for me, they'll wash for me until the day I die. Or I have bought a piece of land near the ocean, a mile away from the ocean, I will build a hut, I will live there. And that's what? Hinayana mindset. Hinayana, Mahayana mindset. So he dropped the hints and he said, all I have to do now to get Master's permission. I said, no, you won't get it. You can go on your own, but I'm not giving you permission. To his credit, he didn't go. And that's how he got here today. Okay? So even for a person at his level, who now is an abbot of DTT, if he had gone to a cave or a hut, like the Hinayana style here, like this Kang Fa Lang and his disciple, we don't even know his name, Lu something, okay? He couldn't get very far, that's all. So different styles of cultivation, of training. All right, any questions or comments? And we have to be grateful to the Chinese Mahayana because that's quintessential Chinese Mahayana, good knowing advisors. Look for one. That's it. And that's what we need to make it ours. It's the best way to cultivate is to follow a good no advisor. And you get higher, you learn more about what it means. All right? Thank you. Next, or shall we stop? You've been going over time, so if you stop right now, I feel you're way ahead. Yes, 7.
A Di Đà Phật, thưa Thầy, con have a curious question that people pass away that the family have 49 days black for them with our temple. Do anyone ever not choose to go to Amitabha, but they want to choose to go to the heaven or other realm? Thank you, Thầy.
Not yet. You've been very lucky. The reason being that for most of these people, after they die, they experience tremendous suffering. It's worse than when they're alive. So for most of these people who are not Buddhists, or even many of them are Buddhists, they all suffer the same fate that we all go through. They are tremendously stressed out. Right? The suffering is incredible. The fear is paralyzing. One of the reasons why when you practice giving, we need to practice giving of fearlessness. It helps you after you die as well. I should remind you all of that. Remind all of you of that. And so far we've been lucky in that ordinary people who, after they pass away, they in very, very bad shape. So when we come and help, they really appreciate it a lot more than when they're alive. When they're alive, when you're alive, you have your body, you have your clothes, you have your eyesight, you have your arms, you enjoy your food, and you have your money, you have your security, and no one can touch you. And after you die, none of it is of any use to you. Your money, your fans, your power, your husband, your children, your armies, your treasure, and so forth, are absolutely of no use to you. Like the Queen Elizabeth, she passed away, a very wealthy woman, but none of it can help her at all. She was supposed to fall. Not too bad. She's a good person. So that's why for us, part of our work is to give them protection and feed them, so that they have some comfort, and that once they go through this crisis, right, it happens right after death, we come in, okay, and we help them. That's when they really appreciate it. So it's a lot easier for us to convince them. We speak Dharma to them and convince them they should go. And a lot more things happen. That's why all of them went to the Pure Land. I can't lie about this. Okay? If I didn't know, I cannot tell you that. That's all. I'm not allowed to tell you if I didn't know. That's all you have. I have to mark my work for it. Trust me. That's all. All of them chose to go to the Pure Land when given a chance. And they left immediately. Didn't want to wait to get a higher grade of rebirth. They all left. That's how pressed they are. They were. They weren't willing to wait. I'm out of here. I'm not staying here in the Saha world. Ready? Another half hour, the last half hour. How's that? Okay, play.
So, next slide.
I thought it's the end of the file.
So we move on, right?
Yeah, next. Next file.
你染了黄色，它就是黄色。
If you dye it yellow, it becomes yellow.
为什么说一般人就发心信佛了呢？
Why would ordinary people give rise the resolve to believe in Buddhism?
就因为看见这一位比丘啊，他坐那个地方就圆寂了，这个山上又放光。
Because they saw this bhikshu passed away sitting there and emitted light on the mountain.
所以有善根的人就发菩提心，他就受这位比丘的影响。
Thus, people with good roots brought forth the Bodhi mind. They were influenced by this bhikshu.
那么在这个没有佛法的国家来提倡佛法，你们各位也是用功。
To promote the Buddha Dharma in this country without Buddha Dharma, if you apply effort,
有人能做一坐做10天，头也不低，腰也不弯弯，坐着10。
some people can sit. They can sit for 10 days. They will not lower their head or bend their back.
入定定了10天，我回到入定定了20天，甚至于你。
When they sit for 10 days, they enter samadhi for 10 days, or they enter samadhi for 20 days.
一定入定定了1个月、2个月、3个月、100天。
Even more, some of you can enter samadhi for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or 100 days.
这个不信佛法的人，他也都要信。为什么呢？看。
Even those who do not believe in Buddha Dharma will believe. Why is that?
你这真是有真功夫。
Because they saw that you have real gongfu.
凡夫怎么可以坐这个地方坐了100天？这一定是正果了，圣人。
How can an ordinary person sit there for 100 days? You must be a sage who attained fruition.
好像中国这位这个虚老和尚，为什么那么多人相信他呢？就因为他一
Like Great Master Xu Yun in China, why so many people believed in him?
坐可以坐1个礼拜10几天20几天他都可以做。
That's because he can sit for a week, over 10 days, or over 20 days he can sit.
他到暹罗，暹罗的天气非常热，我到过暹罗。
He went to Siam. Siam is very hot.
受不了，每一天呢都要用凉水来冲凉，
When I was in Siam, I couldn't handle it. I needed to shower with cold water every day. It was too hot.
Master Old Abbot, when you were in Siam, could you handle the heat?
Như Đạo Phật cái bên Thái Lan kỳ rồi thì thời tiết rất là tốt tại vì mùa mưa.
Oh, so it's not hot at all. Oh, lucky you.
Theo cái kinh nghiệm của con hồi tu với thầy năm cách đây 4 năm, 5 năm gì. Thì con ngồi 3 ngày đầu. Lấy dây còn cột cái chân lại cho nên để mình đề phòng mình ngủ nó bung ra. Thì tới ngày thứ ba nó bớt đau thì không biết con ngủ hay nhập định, mà sau 12 ngày thì sau 12 tiếng đồng hồ thì mình thấy rất là nhanh. Thì con mở mắt ra là 12 tiếng đồng hồ. Thì toàn thân mình nó nhẹ như một cái muôn gòn, nó không có đau, không nhức, không mỏi. Thì như vậy là tiếp tục vậy là 13 ngày. Không đói, không mệt gì hết. Thì con định ngồi một tháng luôn, thì thầy không cho, thầy biểu ra. Thì lúc đó con có cảm giác là ngồi bao lâu cũng được hết. Nó không có mỏi như mình đang ngồi bây giờ nữa. Rồi những cái công án, những cái gì mình không hiểu hồi nào giờ tự động nó ào tới một lúc là mình nó vậy. Rồi thầy kêu mấy đứa nó kêu con ra thì con xả ra đi kinh hành đâu khoảng 2-3 đêm gì cái nó bình thường lại thôi.
Amitabha, in response to your inquiry before, he went to Thailand and the weather is very good, so that it's not that hot. And the next part, he explained, based on my experience, cultivating with Master 4 to 5 years ago, I can sit, so the first 3 days, I have to tie something on my legs so that just in case when I fall asleep, my legs won't fall off. So after those 3 days, I entered Samadhi, and for the 12 hour, it passed by just like a very fast, and my body was delighted, and feel really light, just like a cotton ball. And so I started to sit for 13 more days. I did not experience hunger at all. And so I was thinking of sitting for a month, but Master stopped me, does not allow. So then somehow during this time, a lot of public record I did not understand. And somehow I automatically have an aha moment that it is what it is right now. This is what I understand. And then Master tells somebody to come in and tell me to exit of my sitting. And after 2 days walking around, and I went back to my normal state.
Có một cái kinh nghiệm khác là cái ngày thứ 2 con đến Thái Lan thì con được ông Ajahn Pha Samray đó, ông cho con ngồi trên cái thờ tổ của ông trên gác. Thì con ngồi một mình con trên cái gác đó. Thì giữa cánh rừng mình mênh mông nó yên tĩnh. Mọi người đều ngủ hết thì con ngồi vậy bắt đầu từ 9:30. Thì con bắt đầu con tụng 108 mấy chú Đại Bi. Và tụng không có câu chuỗi, lấy cái mắt ngón tay mà đếm thôi. Mà rất là bình tĩnh, mà không có đếm không nhầm. Mà rất là an lạc cho đến tụng xong rồi thì con tụng 42 thủ nhãn. Cái cảm giác an lạc chưa từng có mà rất là yên tĩnh. Thì tới 2 giờ rưỡi sáng con mới hơi dựa lưng vào tôi dắt một chút xíu. Rồi ngồi tiếp tục tới 3 giờ rưỡi sáng luôn. Thì cái kinh nghiệm rất là an lạc giữa một cánh rừng mênh mông. Mình không sợ một cái gì cả. Cũng không, xung quanh không có ai, mọi người ngủ hết. Ông thầy trụ trì ông ngủ cái thất khác. Có mình con là trên cái thất đó, rồi dưới tầng dưới thằng ra đây con của cô My nó ngủ. Thì cái cảm giác mà thiền ở trong rừng vậy nó rất là an lạc và yên tĩnh, và mình rất là không sợ hãi một cái gì hết. Đó là kinh nghiệm đi chuyến đi kỳ rồi.
So I also have an experience that I would like to share. The second day I arrived in Thailand, I was able to have my own space sitting in the hut of the patriarch altar that Phra Acham Sambre put on, and I sat on the in the attic, and it was in the middle of the forest, and everywhere around was very quiet. And so then I started to recite Great Compassion mantra from 9:30 p.m. and I started to recite that mantra. I did not have the beats with me to count. However, I used the knot on my hand, on my finger to count, and I'm very clearly in my hands I can count exactly what it is, and it's really awake, and I feel very peaceful toward. After 108 times of Great Compassion mantra, I started to recite 42 hands and eyes, and 2:30 in the morning, I feel very peaceful. There's nothing around me cause me disturbances, and I lie down a little bit to 3:30 in the morning. So around me, there's nothing there. In the bottom, there's cherries sleeping, and that's all. And somehow I feel really peaceful. And that is my experience that I wanted to share.
Okay, thank you. Wei Mong has a question.
Hi, Master. I have a question about Pure Land, and especially for you talked about a lot about 49 days, and what about requesting rebirth plaques for the people already missed that chance of 49 days? And for example, if they're reborn as a human, or sometimes they fall into hell, so how do they get rescued and then have a chance to go to the Pure Land? If I may ask, if you are permitting, would you like to explain to us? Thank you.
Sure. If after you die, there's a 49-day period where it's really opportune. It's great to help you go to the Pure Land. And that's why the Buddhists observe it. Because out of compassion, Shakyamuni Buddha transmitted the Dharma to us and encouraged us to do the 49-day Dharma to help people obtain a better body. And opportunistically speaking, it's a perfect time for us to help you go to the Pure Land, help those who cannot help themselves go to the Pure Lands. What about when you pass the 49 days? So we started by doing that, and then people came to me and they said, excuse me, what about my parents who passed away a long time ago already? What can you do to help? And so in those cases, what you have to do is just create a lot of rebirth blessings so that when they have enough blessings, then they can go. These rebirth blessings, what are they? They are, first of all, for the people who missed that window of opportunity during the 49 days, then they need to, first of all, because they obtain a body already, whether it's whatever realms they are, could be a God's realm, like my late father, he was up there in the heavens, or other people who are, or his wife who fell to the hells. So it would take time to, it would take a lot longer than 49 days to resolve the issues. What issues? When you have a body, it's for you to repay karmic debts. And the proof is that you have aches, you have pain, you have issues up here. And those are your karmic debts. And so you attain that body, for many of us, for most of us, is to repay those karmic debts. And so you can't really go, you cannot skip town. So in order for you to go, you have to resolve those karmic debts. Things you owe to your children, things you owe to your wife, things you owe to the bank, and so forth. Those are the debts you must pay before you can go. So because you attain this body, that body there it's designed for you to repay those karmic debts. And those are the limitations, those are constraints. That's why in order for you to go, we need to generate enough blessings to resolve, to pay off these karmic debts. My late father, for example, his biggest karmic debts were his girlfriends and wives. So it took a while, okay? And so it took a year and a half, okay, finally. And a lot more than just time, also a lot of things that I had to do to convince him. He says, because I'm going to go to the Pure Land, I'm going to become a Buddha. So what's the hurry? I'm happy here. Heaven's life in the heavens is so delightful, so much fun, so enjoyable. It's well worth it for me. So if I leave, I will become a Buddha anyway. So what's the hurry? So I really tearing my hair off, pulling my hair off. What I'm gonna do? His wife gave me lots of money to send him off to the Pure Land very quickly, but he would not go. How embarrassing! You take the money and you say, "Okay, I will send him there." But he says, "No, I'm not going." And so he's the hardest case I have. It's a real struggle, but I learn a lot from that. So anyway, so the concept is that you have to pay off the karmic debts. And then once you free up debts, then you need next the blessings that will bring you from where you are to the Pure Land. Okay? It's more like, if you think of it as the airfare, if you will. Okay? And that's what it takes to go to the Pure Land. That's what we figured out, what has to happen. See, I didn't know. No one taught me. Someone came to me and said, I have my dear father who's died in a field in Laos, killing fields. A lot of you lost their lives by the Khmer Rouge. And recently he came back to my dreams in very bad shape. So should I help? She says. So that's how I learn. I learn by solving people's problems. I'm not here to try to, have anything to prove. I'm just here because I'm learning, because people brought their problems to me. And that's how rebirth happens. We discovered rebirth happened. It can be possible when you pass the 49-day period. You see? And it seems to work quite well. It takes longer, though. And this is a lot more work than you realize. Is it clear? Does it help? Did I answer your question?
Yes, Master. I have one question.
Might as well. It's 3 minutes left.
Really quick, the people fall into hell, you don't need to really convince them to go to PL, Pure Land.
No.
I mean, they want to go right away, right?
No, you don't have to convince them at all. They want to go as soon as possible. But usually we make them suffer a little bit first. Not just for them, because it's the message we send to them as well as the beings connected with them, that if you create evil and if you think you can get away with it, think again, because you'll be sorry. For most of us, we learn from sorrow, okay? And we make a mistake and we cut our fingers, and that's when you realize you don't want to play with the knife. And that's how it is. So for most of these beings in a three-low path, they want to go as soon as possible. Okay? But on the other hand, even though they want to go, the depths are much heavier than the higher realms. That's why it's more work, really. It's a lot of work. Yes, 7.
A-di-đà Phật Thầy, con biết là con cũng been around the three realms, the lower one. How can con don't remember? If I remember, I don't make the stupid mistake.
I'm sorry?
I know that I've been around the three realms, the low three realms before.
Yes.
So I don't remember.
That's a good thing about it. It hurts so much. If you remember, you go crazy. They go crazy down there. They can't take it. They go berserk when they can't die. And they have to wait until they actually die. And then they get tortured again. It's endless. Okay? But we all have been there. We just don't remember. Anything else? That's why it's okay. We're very patient. You don't believe, it's okay. I told you so. Just like I told my mother, and you're going to be sorry. You're going to be very sorry. So I'm going to wait to see if your teacher is going to save you or not. So if her teacher didn't save her, the next one, it would be the next, the successors and her peers, would they try to save her? They didn't either. So we all get what we deserve. Yes, sir. 3.
Master, somebody gave me the 550 Jataka tales, and I'm just
what tales?
Jataka, the Buddha's past incarnations.
Oh, Jataka tales, yeah.
And I was just wondering if that's like reading a sutra, or is that different? Is that like Dharma, or
is that in Espanol or English?
in English?
In English. They are pretty good. So you should treat them carefully because it has the names of the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. Okay, so they should be treated like sacred texts. All right. Are you going somewhere with this question?
I guess like when we read sutras, they're like wisdom seeds, right? I'm just wondering if those tales also contain like wisdom for us. If we read them, is there like any benefit?
Yeah, I love those tales. I think I started by telling our students about those tales. I didn't know what to do, so I read those tales. I liked them a lot. So I told them those tales and I explained to them, made commentaries about those tales. So those are good things. Actually, they're part of the sacred texts of our Tripitaka. All right. The translation has some is not as accurate into English, but it's still pretty good. Okay, are we done tonight? Okay, thank you all. This is our last Dharma Talk lecture. Tomorrow night would be the prologue, and then that's it. So last chance. Thank you, everyone.